All right, we are live with Mike from X-RL7 and Tosh. I'm Scott, and we are here to celebrate the premiere of Antipop Star. And it's a new collaborative song that we have made together with Mike. And he has this incredible pixel art animated series that's just incredible. And we're blown away because not only did we collaborate on a song, he actually did a full-on episode featuring the song, and Tosh is also one of the main vocal talents behind it as well, including a bunch of other amazing people that are on this episode. And I think you feature like a new artist every episode, and you have so many talented people that you work with. And yeah, we're just here to celebrate the song. We have a lyric video that we're going to premiere, and we've got some clips from the animated episode, and it's all pixel art. And yeah, we're stoked to have you. It's like 12 a.m. where you are, Mike. So thanks for hanging out and staying up. And we're just excited. Yeah, I don't even know. We're live right now, so we have chats open everywhere. So if you have any questions for Mike or the band, feel free to chime in and ask, and we will answer them live as they come in. And yeah, we're just so stoked. So Mike, what is your favorite thing about today, which is a release day? Any moments where you're like nervous or anything else? Because you also did the whole premiere for the actual entire episode earlier. So I guess my question is, how did that go?
Well, first of all, what a lovely, wonderful intro, Scott. That's very, very lovely and very warms the heart at midnight, which is what I need right now. So, but yeah, the episode went very well, and it seems to have been received very positively, and a lot of nice comments about your contribution as with the song and Tash's wonderful voice, sultry voice. I thought was one of the comments. So it went fantastically, and I love release days. I'm always a little bit nervous to see how it goes. I think that's natural for any artist, but it's been very warmly received, and it's a wonderful time. And I'll tell you, in XRL7, because this journey of getting to episode 28 and all these songs, one thing I've learned to do is early on in the process, I was very fixated on the end result, like get the song out, get that, just uh, see how the numbers and all these things. But what I've learned to really appreciate is just there's this beautiful magical moment when you're working on the song or the episode with the artist, where it's really electric and you're sending each other work in progress stuff, and sending animation and sending song stuff. It's this really wonderful period. And I've learned to really savor that, because there does come a moment where, after the promotion, the artist look to the next thing they're on. And it's this magical sort of window where everything's just, there's a certain connection with the artist.
Yeah.
And some artists, it creates a lifelong friendship. And I know we've been friends for years at this point. But I really enjoy like right now, I'm just soaking it all in and really enjoying. How about you?
I had a pretty good day. I mean, I'm always nervous when we do these streams, so
Yeah.
um, it's like, but beyond that, it's been fun watching all the reactions and seeing all the love coming in. So we really appreciate it. And yeah, we're so stoked on the song. I don't know, like it was such a fun collaboration, you know. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's all I have to say about it. What about you, Tosh?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to say hi to everyone in the chats. Thank you all so much for joining us and for celebrating with us. We like Mike and Scott were both saying. I mean, for me, part of the joy is sort of like revealing like opening up the curtain and being like, look, we made this. Look at this piece of clay that is now a nice little statue of a squirrel. It's not a squirrel, but it's a beautiful episode and song. But yes, thank y'all so much for joining us. I always get excited on release days. Like I feel like it's it's like you've put so much love and it's a whole team of people, right, that are involved in these projects. So on the Alice end, it's like we've got like our band, but on the XRL7 end, you have like everyone involved. Like how many people do you
Yeah.
know off the top of your head, Mike, were involved with this particular episode?
Oh, in terms of like voice actors and
Well, not
individuals like
just the
that.
voice actors, but like everybody that's been involved in this particular creation.
Oh, well, in this particular episode, well, the flow of XRL7 is I do a lot of the practical work, so the writing, the animating, the editing, and some work on the music as well. And the other contribution is basically voice acting and music. And so I think I haven't counted. I feel like there's like 9 voice actors or so in this of wonderful, talented musical beings that I'm so blessed that they have lent their time and energy to our creation. And of course, the amazing Alice. You guys have done such a wonderful job on the song. It really blew me away, like how you took this small acoustic demo, which I sent over and just exploded it into this wonderful, rich, deep, intricate song with so much passion behind it. And I was saying this before we went on air, but I just want to shout out just Tash. I think your vocals in this are absolutely phenomenal. They're so passionate and so beautiful, and just really elevate the song like several notches. And Scott, you're like a secret weapon for the band, man. Like the production you do, all the intricate synths and soundscapes that you put into this track, the guitars, the mixing. I'm sure.
Oh, I think we lost your audio. I'm so sorry. Tosh, can you speak or say something really quick?
Oh yeah, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I think we lost your audio,
Check.
Mike. Okay, yeah.
There
Oh
you are,
no.
Mike. Yes.
Just as you were giving me
Back
like
again.
all these accolades, I was like soaking it up, and then the universe was like, "I'd steal that away from you."
You know what? I think I need to text my wife not to use the internet at the moment because she just got home from work, so I think she might be using the internet. Please.
That's all good.
Chill on net. Okay. Yeah, I was. I was just saying. You guys just did such an amazing job. And yeah, as I say, Tash, you just sound amazing and so passionate. And I knew it was going to be good, but I wasn't expecting that level of just passion. And it felt like you really embodied like all of the words and just really brought it to life. And Scott, as I say, I think you're the secret weapon of the band with the amazing production you do, the amazing mixing, editing, and you busted out the 7-string guitar on this. I'd love to know the motivation for you guys to make the song so gosh darn heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely talk a little bit about that if that sounds good. But yeah, we were just going more in a phase of just like listening to heavier music. I've been personally listening to a band called Sleep Token, which you've probably heard of a lot. And, I've just been sort of like, going back to my personal roots, which is like playing heavier music. Alice is like really awesome though, because we span so many spectrums and varieties of styles. Like, and it's always, for me, like, it's always been a platform where it's okay to just do what we're feeling, not like stick to anything in a genre or anything. We're like, you know what, like let's play some like super heavy metal-y sort of stuff, and it's awesome, but it really like, it was really just going back to my roots. I was just feeling it, and I think there was a mention of Tosh doing growly sort of vocals again, and thinking about that, I was like, all right, let's make this heavy so it could complement the heavy vocals. So that was definitely part of it. I don't even know like if that was talked about. Maybe it was all in my head. I don't know. Did you guys talk about that? I don't know.
So Mike in the demo did have like a scream
Right
at the end,
right.
but then which was fantastic, by the way. It was great. But then Steve took it a step further because this is one of the things I love about Alice is that everybody kind of has their own contributions and creative ideas. And Steve came in, and when he was creating an arrangement, he was like, what if we put some more screams in there? Like, what if it's
Yeah.
not just like one? Like, let's just make this sort of like like kind of interweave it into the song. And it was really cool revisiting like my MKIO vocals.
Mm.
I feel like that kind of talking about coming back to your roots, and in a different way because I was like, I've been exploring like different voices with the different projects I've been doing, not just with Alice, but also in my classical world and my jazz world. So it's kind of a way to like kind of like bring it all together because I feel like I was exploring like different frequencies in the particular growly things that you're hearing. Because
Mm.
it's like it's kind of fun to play with like different frequencies, whether it's low or if it's high, depending on where the song is. So yeah, I felt like I had a lot of fun, and you gave us like the open forum to be able to do that. Like that's one of the things I love about collaborating with you is that I think you really encourage creativity. You encourage the inspiration that flows out of that creativity. So it's truly a joy to get to work with you, Mike.
Oh, thank you. And you guys as well. I absolutely love working with you guys. I suppose like if to tell the story of how it came to the point of how it is for the audience if they are unaware. So in XRL7, typically, I will pen a demo, and usually the contribution of the artist is that of vocals, a vocal performance, and sometimes some additional synths. This time, we did something a bit different where I was like, well, we could just do something because I wanted to do something with your character, Tash, Miss Cleo, the wonderful Miss Cleo, for a long time now. And finally, we're at this point in the story where I thought we could do something. But I was like, well, I'm a big fan of Alice. So I wonder if we can get the whole band involved and make it a full, like, proper collaboration. And I put the feelers out and was delighted that you guys were interested in taking it on. So from my point of view, it was like, okay, how can we work this out with a full band? And the answer was for me to step back from any performance stuff and just put down a basic acoustic demo with the basic chords and vocal ideas, and really just give you guys the keys to the kingdom. Just like the opportunity to take it in whatever direction you wish, which I feel was I wouldn't do that with just any band, but it's something special about you guys, and we have a relationship, and I knew you'd do something magical. And it's really beautiful because you could have gone anywhere. You could have gone more electric, you could have gone more stripped down, you could have gone heavy, and you've created this really wonderful beautiful sound, which is heavy but atmospheric as well. And if I may, I just want to shout out that when I was doing the animating, I tried to keep that as authentic as possible to what's really being played. And Scott, you were kind enough to send me the individual like drum stems and guitar stems and all that. And it really allowed me to see just how amazing everyone in Alice is at their instrument and how articulate you guys are. Steve on the drums is throwing in these cheeky little ghost notes and this really wonderful variations, and the tom stuff, and these intricate feels on the bass that Gordon's doing, and yourself on guitar, and just all the wonderful vocals. I get to really know someone's voice with animating because you're going through bit by bit. It takes hours to do just like a few seconds of what's on the screen. So it really blew my mind just how powerful everyone in Alice is, because you guys are musical powerhouses.
That's very kind of you to say that. I really, really appreciate that. I always feel so grateful to get to create with my my wonderful band family. And like, you know, I was saying to you earlier, I also love the extended family as well, which you are a part of. And it's also a testament to your songwriting, like you mentioned, like the feeling of the words. Like I really felt the lyrics. I felt like it was like something that I could really relate to. You know, I've never been able to scream for scream's sake. I've never been able
Mm.
to. I'm not really great at karaoke. Like here's a little fun fact about Tosh. I don't do karaoke. I like doing cover songs, but I just feel like for me when I sing, it is an emotive practice and an expression. And I feel like, you know, you wrote a song that was just something that I just felt like really, really felt it. So, you know,
Oh, yeah,
shout out to your songwriting.
for real.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned
Thanks so much,
something
guys.
when you mentioned about Steve earlier, Tosh, I think about when he was tracking drums, like the song was in a different arrangement, and Tosh just had this scream at the end. I think, right? Or was it just in the
Mhm.
middle? I forget. Maybe it was
It was
just in the
both.
middle.
It was,
Well,
originally
well, I
at the
think he
end. Originally
actually,
at the end.
yeah, it was really just at the end, and then Steve was like, "I'm gonna throw this in the middle," and we got it back, and I was like, "This is the song, and this is so awesome," you know. Um, and I don't know, like, I'm sorry, I just sort of flipped to that, but it's just something I wanted to mention because um, Steve is actually an amazing arranger. Like I've noticed, like sometimes drummers are just really good at arranging because they're, you know, they have a good sense of the rhythm and the feel where things should go, like peaks and valleys and stuff. But yeah, I was just blown away. And then after that, we're like, the song needs to just be like really heavy, you know?
It's quite
Yeah.
ironic because when I was coming up with the demo, my whole thing is just it doesn't make sense because I'm reaching out to artists because I love their songwriting, and I'm saying I love your songwriting, but I've got a song. No, it's
Yeah.
quite backwards. But when I was putting that together, I was thinking, okay, what could be a cool basic
Mm.
foundation for Alice? And I'm thinking this isn't Mankind is Obsolete. Don't make it heavy. Just keep it chilled and
Yeah.
in the original demo. And then I sent it to you guys and you just made it really heavy. And one cool
Yeah.
arrangement thing which you guys did was the intro with like the heavy guitar. I that wasn't in my head at all whatsoever. Like in the acoustic demo, it sort of does
Mm-hmm.
the main riff just a couple of times, goes into the verse. I didn't imagine any heaviness, and you guys just go right in with this massive riff. And there's a lot of little changes and big changes that you did in different parts that really
Right.
elevate the track. So you guys rock.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I mean the whole premise of the song, you know, it's like you think about the message of the song and you know, and the whole episode and in general, I feel like it needed that extra oomph.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I think we were all kind of called to like for the heaviness. So, yeah.
Yeah, it came out amazingly.
Yeah.
Um, somebody was asking if one of the characters, voice actors, is named Finn.
There's a character named Flix,
Oh,
F-L, I cannot spell, Flix. He's voiced by Todd Barriage. I've never said his surname out loud. This is the first time I've ever said it. But he is popular for doing covers of various songs from throughout the 90s and 2000s and making them
Very
very
cool.
emo. And he is incredible.
Nice.
And he slayed it, didn't he, as the presenter character. Tons of it. The thing is, everyone's so good. I've noticed vocalists in particular just somehow make fantastic voice actors. And my
Mm.
theory is possibly because when we sing, we're kind of putting on a little bit of a performance or an exaggerated version of ourselves, but it's kind of a bit of a performance. So I wonder if that's what lends to it. It's
Right.
my small theory. I don't know.
yeah. No, I think it's always interesting when you get to because you know, like with Miss Cleo, like getting to voice Miss Cleo, Obviously, she's a character, so this is not Tosh persona, but it's really fun to explore like a character and a persona, like you were saying, and like I think it does bring out like a completely different voice as well, So yeah.
Yeah, your voice parts as Miss Cleo are absolutely incredible, and it's always a sign of a fantastic creative voice actor when like you sent some stuff back that I wasn't hearing, like in some of your performances, and I was like, oh yeah, that's it. And it's kind of, it's always, there's been times where there might be a line which I think is one of the weaker lines versus some of the others, and then the voice actor will send something back and it's like, oh, the line is actually really good because of the performance. And I felt that with your stuff as well. You really, not just in the song but as the character, just really wore that skin and just did really did the character and episode proud. So once again, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
mean-
Thank you so much. It was like, I loved that you directed me as well. Like I sent you stuff and then you were like, actually, if you could do it this way. And I was like, this is great. I love when people direct me. I love when I get like, inspiration and instruction for like, especially when you're collaborating with another artist. It's so great to hear people's like, idea so you can really realize that vision. So it really helps. And I love that you came back with me with really brilliant ideas. So yeah, that was so fun to get to dive into that world.
You know what's interesting about that is I remember the first versions you did of the character, they were very good, but the bit which it was only one bit I think I was had a little note on, which was the disdain for the Duke character, having a bit more venom towards him. And it seems like once you gave yourself permission to do that, like the whole performance just had something else. It had a different energy to it. And I don't know, it just really amped it up. So I think I asked you to do more lines because you just unlocked this beautiful energy. And thank you for your patience in doing that, because not everyone likes likes feedback, shall we say.
Oh, I love it. It's like, I think it's because of working with both Scott and Gordon in the studio. They've been our producers, our main producers in Mankind is Obsolete and Alice. And they are not afraid to tell me, Tosh, you're pitchy, or can we do that rhythm a little better? Like I want to know that because I want to deliver a good performance. Like my goal is to, deliver a performance that requires very little editing. Like the more I can deliver something that's authentic and whole, I feel like it really translates, so it's like it helps when the people and give me that reflection and it's objective. Outside ears is always helpful, I think. And it also helps me grow. So, when people tell me like, yeah, we need to work on this thing, I'm like, great, let's do it. I mean, hopefully with kindness. And I'm lucky that I am surrounded by very kind people. So.
Oh yes, There's a correct way to tell someone something.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been on the end of both sides.
Yes, for sure. I just wanted to take a second to say hello to Alexander from Russia. Привет, очень приятно. Спасибо большое for joining us. I think Alexander was having a little trouble reading, so and he was asking if we're going to have a presentation of the song or if it's happened yet. It's 3:22 a.m. there.
Wow.
Should we do a little play for it for our friends that are across the pond?
Definitely.
So we'll come back to the chat, but if you want to take a moment.
Yeah. We'll do the lyric video. And let's do it. So we're gonna play it and yes, enjoy.
I am Miss Cleo. I am your anti-pop star. Tricks to show off the
we are back. Hello, hello. We are back.
Hello. Yes.
Oh wow, I see a lot of chats coming in from
Yes.
when everyone's watching it. There's some headbanging. Dusty Chalk was headbanging. Industrial Girl
Awesome.
says, "Woo!" Bad Seeds gives a. I can't even tell what that emoji is. It's a flaming banana. Is that a banana?
Yes.
I can't tell.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Definitely chat your reactions. Authentic and totally amazing. The song is as Alice as anything that is out there. Atmospheric, originally kick-ass. Jeffrey Hall says that was fantastic. Yeah, there's just like so many awesome comments coming in.
Oh,
Oh, you're getting some love for the animation as well.
Yeah, flaming banana.
That's awesome. Yeah.
thank you kindly.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you all so much for taking the time to hang out with us and for being so sweet and supportive. Really means the world. I love that. Oh, we're seeing someone from Argentina. Hello, hello.
What the?
Someone's head is hurting from headbanging. This is a question, I guess, for Tosh and Scott from Tim Purvis. Thank you for your question. How do you know when a collaboration will be the right fit for the band? And what makes you feel like an artist or producer is the one to bring something fresh to your work? It's a great question. Yeah. I don't know.
Do you want
Scott,
to
what
go
do you
first,
think?
Tosh? Oh, I could
I
go first.
I
Right.
gift you the conch shell.
The conch shell. All right. So the
Yes.
question is, how do you know when a collaboration will be the right fit for the band? What makes you feel like an artist or producer is one to bring something fresh to your work? Yeah, we don't typically do too many collaborations, but I feel like when it happens, it's a natural thing where it just sort of, we're either friends or we've met people like the one other sort of collaboration we've done was writing a theme song for a comic book called Dead Lucky, and that came out like I feel like a year and a half ago or something. But this was different because that was just like they were just like write a song for us and go. But this is different because Mike had a vision and a song and an idea. He had lyrics, he had melodies, he had an arrangement, and he sent it to Tosh. And like you and Tosh have been working together for quite a long time, and it was just natural. We're like, of course we're gonna do it, and we all listened to the song and we're like, this is a really cool song. How could we take this and make it Alice, and it was great. It was just easy when we first started working on it. And I think we all just listened to it, and we tend to play through things as a band when we like are learning a song. But I think we got off of the last tour, and it was sort of a crazy year, just slightly, just a wee little bit crazy year. So we actually just took some time, after the holidays, and started listening and playing around with it, and it just all started coming together. But to answer, I'm trying to like get back on topic here. The question of what makes you feel like an artist or producer is the one to bring something fresh. We rarely work with outside artists and producers. Honestly, we like to like really have a fully realized vision. But when people approach us, it tends to be like already a natural conversation. That's like, whether it's a product of a friendship or a relationship or previous collaborations, that's how it happens. And it's just, this one was just super organic, and it just made sense. Hopefully that answers that.
The first time I worked with Mike on a song was with his project Mixie One. And we did a song together called Creations. I don't know if there's a way to share that, but if we share that out, you can see like that's our origin song. That this was like something where we got a taste of what it was like to create together. And it was awesome. Yeah, and then Mike asked us about this. I wanted to actually ask Mike, You know, like, do you, do you like how far in advance do you write your episodes? Like, how have you already written for the future episodes coming up? And then do you have like a vision for like the music or the artists that you want to work with on your end?
Well, great question, Tash. And yes, creations is if I could just respond to the creations story there, because I just want to say yeah, that was a very special song. And just to give a bit of backstory to that, the first time we worked on that, um uh, that was the behind the scenes of that was because we'd been speaking a little bit before we started working on that song. And I remember just one day I was quite inspired and I picked up the acoustic and came up with this track. It'd be really cool to have female vocal on this. And I was hearing your voice and I could not hear it, whatever reason. So I pinged you about it. And I was delighted that you were so open to the idea of collaborating. And when you expressed interest, I said to my bandmates, I said, look, um, Natasha Cox of Mankind is Obsolete, Alice is interested in working the song potentially. We need to get the demo done. And in just 24 hours, we had like the drummer did his parts, the guitarist came round, we got that edited, and we had like a coherent demo and sent it to yourself. And there was a lot of space for you to write on the song. And what you came back with just really blew us all away. You've got these really beautiful melody choices in what you do, and it really blew us away. And I think, Scott, you engineered it, didn't you?
Indeed. Yes.
Okay, so that's my love sent for creations. In answer to your question, I have some arcs of different characters, just vague points of what I'd like to achieve with different storylines, and different characters kind of represent different things as well. And so I have these arcs, but to get there, the path isn't painted solidly. And that's a good thing because it allows some cool things to come up and characters to be introduced because it's not so rigid and set in stone. But at the moment, I've actually reached a lot of my story goals. So I'm projecting a few more into the future now, but it's very, very vague. It's not set in stone.
I like that you're keeping it open. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And there was actually another episode which Tash, you were in, which was you've been in a few episodes, but you appeared on the song Gatekeeper in
Yes.
episode 12, and you did some glorious sort of backing singers for the main baddie of the show, the Duke. And you and yourself and Sasha at the time did these really wonderful kind of show busy vocals. And one cool story about that as well is if anyone listens to this song, there's this outro which is very epic and slow, and it's supposed to show the true face of the Duke, the main bad guy of X-RL7. How other parts of the song is a bit showbiz and it's sort of a front, but at the end you really see who he is. And for that we had this male choir which consisted of myself and a couple of other members of the project, and we were trying to go for this kind of Gregorian sort of thing, and that's what it was. And when I sent it to you, Tash, you heard something which we hadn't heard, and you came up with this counter melody for the outro, and once again it was just absolutely beautiful and really enriched the song. And that's the beauty of collaboration, just when you work with someone and they're hearing something that you haven't heard, and just amp that song up and bring it to another level.
Yeah, I think that's the joy of collaboration. You know, I find so much joy in collaborating, and I think it is fun. Like, you know, I feel like it's like a ping pong game in a way, right? Like we get to play ping pong with each other. We're like, oh, here's a thing that I'm hearing, go. Yeah, and thank you. It was really fun to play around with that. And I mean, I love your songwriting and I love your
Oh,
creativity. So yes.
thank you.
Yeah. So People were asking about, Jeffrey Hall was asking is if this has given us any ideas for new music. What a fun question. I'm gonna share this with all three of us. But yes, absolutely. I think it kind of unlocked some heavy things that we want to explore in Alice Land. Because I think we had a lot of fun with playing with like heavy stuff. So our next song on deck actually, we're playing with some things that were very inspired by exploring the heavier guitars and the heavier drums. Scott mentioned like Sleep Token being kind of an influence as well. Also like kind of revisiting some like older like metal influences, like Neurosis is actually something as well. So I feel like we're
Mm.
kind of like diving into the heavier side of Alice right now. So yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. We're excited. It's a fun exploration. So yeah.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. I don't know, Scott.
heavy.
Scott, what do you
Yeah,
think?
I don't know. It's just heavy times calls for heavy music, and we're
Yes.
feeling it. It's. I feel like things are cyclical. We had Mankind is Obsolete. We still have that band. It's just dormant right now, but I feel like in all things in life, in culture, and society, it's like things come and go back around in circles. And, we're just feeling we need to get some aggression out, you know, that's where we're at. And Alice is like, it's amazing because, we've got music that's very ethereal. We've got like End of Times to Love is Forever and Looking Glass, which is just like, and Me and You, we just put out that song like a year ago or something. And See Me, it's like, but then it's like we can get really heavy. Like we just have it in us, and I feel like there's a beauty in the contrast. There's both light and dark, and that's part of what makes us Alice, and it's also ties into the second part of our album, which is As Above, So Below. As Above, which was a little bit, I felt like more exploring like lighter themes, but still pretty dark, if you listen to the lyrics. But Still Below, we're definitely going into the depths and like exploring like stuff that's just like in the deep subconscious, and we're really excited to continue writing. And the like Tosh said, there's a new song we've been writing that like it's super powerful, super heavy, and we could probably share it on the tea time, which we're doing right after this with our special Mad Hatter tea time followers and friends. But anyways, yeah, we're in that mode.
Yeah. I know, Mike, that you were mentioning that you're working on Mixie One music. Yeah, like do you feel like with the stuff that you've been working on that it's influencing, or have you already finished all the stuff that you're going to be putting on your album?
Oh, yes, it does influence everything else. Even just like what we've done with Antipop Star has influenced me already. For actually, it did actually make me reach out to a certain band, and I've got something going on there because of the song. So it's really cool the way this feedback loop of creativity. With Mixie One, we are working on a single to get something out because it's been a few years, and we'll see how that goes. I have got a few other songs floating about, but we're going to focus on this single at the moment. And X-RL7, there's single after single after single at the moment, influenced by a big part of what shapes the sound of X-RL7 is the artist who's featuring it in the episode, because what I humbly try to do is capture what I love about that artist and do my best with my attempts at songwriting to capture, to showcase what I love about the artist and just share that with other people so that they can discover the artist as well. And it always warms my heart when viewers say they've discovered new artists from their pixel appearances. So yeah, the artists inspire me very much.
I love that. I love that because also you've worked with quite a diverse group of artists as well. So I'm sure it's been like so educational and inspiring to get to dive into different, realms, with each artist that you've worked with.
Yeah, and maybe you can relate to this as well. One thing, when I was doing Mixie One a few years ago, I'd reached a point of writer's block, and because I was overthinking, and because I was writing as myself, I'd reached a certain point. And in X-RL7, when I started writing as characters and giving myself a certain permission to go to certain places, it just flowed out again, and it was opened up a whole realm of creativity. And even with Antipop Star, just going in the head of the character, and it's fascinating when you have a message you want to put out, but then you filter it and warp it through the lens of how the character feels. It creates some interesting results, and the storytelling aspects can lead to some interesting things. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Do you guys ever go into story mode, as in imagining you're someone else, or do you keep it very much as you when you write the songs?
Unless we're writing for something else, like Scott mentioned that we did the theme song for the Dead Lucky comic book. And so in that case, it was for a character. But actually, all the other songs that I've written really come from me, from my own, introspection. So, and I mean, I've had my share of like my little writer's mountains where I'm like, well, we're going to put a pause in it. My way of circumnavigating that is sometimes to explore different mediums. So like I'll write stories, but like I'll write children's stories or short stories, and then that actually inspires like, for me to go back into the songwriting. So maybe in some ways, like you know, in a different way, like in writing stories outside of my own realm, like it kind of inspires and loosens things up. Sometimes I'll draw, like sometimes like drawing characters and drawing things like that will help me like, think like, oh, I can write a song about this. Like playing around with like the theme of Tree of Life. I was drawing a lot of trees and the trees of life. And I think that was part of the inspiration behind As Above, So Below. So yeah. Yeah, it is kind of funny how like fun and funny how we navigate like writer's blocks. I feel like everybody has like their own ways of doing things,
Mm.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love hearing about other artists like process on, like how other people like approach that. I've heard some people say like there's no such thing as writer's block, and I'm like, well, certainly has existed for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard some schools of songwriters talk about. Some people talk about how they write a song every day, even if it's not necessarily good, to keep that songwriting muscle going. That doesn't quite work for me, but it's interesting how everyone has their own thing that works, their own method to get over it.
Yeah, for sure.
Our friend Flint Carney from System Sin, he wrote 500 songs before he got signed to his first label.
Wild.
And we interviewed him on Rules of the Road, and we were like, oh my God, that's amazing. It's just incredible. Like, like Tosh said, everyone has a different approach, yeah.
Clint is amazing. Have you heard his voice acting on the X-RL7?
He's amazing. Yeah. Oh, I think you froze, Mike.
Uh-oh.
But yes.
Uh-oh. He's restarting OBS.
Yes. We will
okay.
talk amongst ourselves. Yes.
Yes. There's actually some I think there was a cool question. Oh, he's back. Where did I see a question? There's so many chats. Oh man.
I love it. Yes.
Oh, where did the name XRL7 come from is a question that Ryben Card asked.
Thank you. You know what? I wish there was a lovely magical, interesting magical answer to this, but it was literally something which felt right. Because the origin of XRL7, it started as a game. And the lead character, Omega, of the band XRL7, wasn't actually the lead character in the game, but I'd written this song called Apotheosis Man, and basically, I'll try and keep my answer not too lengthy, but when I was working on it as a game, I'd reached a point where it kind of just stopped feeling right. I felt it's going to take a long time for me to do, and something about making a game didn't quite connect anymore. So I got into animation, built my skills up there for a year. But I had that song lying around, Apotheosis Man. There's something about it. So I decided to pick it up again and sent it to one of my musician friends in the band Studio X. It's a wonderful Australian electronic band. And he did this fantastic mix for it. And from there, I was like, okay, I've got to do something. And the song was sung via the vocoder with this character Omega. So, okay, it's got to be Omega as the lead character. Need to think of a name. I want to have something which is easily searchable. Like, I've been in, even when I was on an indie label, there was bands there which had the most generic names where you just cannot search for it. One of my favorite bands is a Japanese band called Fake. You know,
That's awesome.
if you try searching for that in Google, man. But so I wanted something you could comfortably find on the front page of a search engine. And X-RL7, for whatever reason, just spoke to me and made sense. And that's the answer.
I love it. I love it.
For anyone out there, if you have any questions you want to ask to Mike or to Tosh or myself, feel free to ask in any of the chats and we will answer them.
I'm loving these. I'm loving these comments about writer's block.
Yeah.
P. Russo says, anyone who says no such thing as writer's block can get right into the bin. Oh my gosh. And other people are commiserating about the writer's block. I like what Jimmy Cassell says: to undo writer's block, road trip to Baja and surf, sing and drink until your mind unravels. That's a beautiful way to unravel the writer's block, I think. Yes. Sending some love to Ronnie and Khaleesi. Says Khaleesi sends her love to everyone and wants everyone to know she adores the new song. I love that.
Arf, arf, arf.
Arf, arf, arf. Khaleesi is a wonderful doggo.
Let's see.
And Dusty Chalk loves, I love this question from Dusty Chalk, is asking, what is your favorite cheese?
I like a good goat cheese.
How about you, Mike?
I am a vegan, so I don't actually consume cheese. How about you,
There's
Tash?
vegan cheese. There's vegan cheese. I don't know if you've ever had like cashew cheese. It's actually quite good.
Oh, you know what? Now you say that, I have had vegan cheese on a pizza, but I've not looked into the ingredients, so I don't know what it's made up of.
Yeah, there's different ones that are actually really, really good. So, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. In the farmers markets here in Southern California, you can get like all kinds. So yeah, it's people get very creative with it. Yes. So
how about yourself?
Gosh, that is a tough question. I've never met a cheese I didn't like. So any and all. I am an equal opportunity cheese lover. Yes. Yes. And George is asking, where are you from? Mike.
I am from the UK. I live in a county called Hertfordshire, which is just north of London, just about a 30-minute train ride. That's my accent.
Which I love. It's an awesome accent.
Yeah, we love the accent.
Thank you kindly.
Yes.
I actually have a question for you guys, if you don't mind. I was curious how you envision, how do you see the sound of Alice from when you started to now? Do you see a specific path you've taken to what the sound is now? Or is it just something, I don't know, what was your view on the change in sound?
So Alice came about during our year-long tour with Mankind is Obsolete. And during that time, we just came up with a lot of music that was very progressive, that didn't really fit in the realm of Mankind is Obsolete. And it felt like it was very, like it kind of took you on a journey. And we went into it with the intention of not putting it into a box. We were like, we want to create this music project, where maybe where it's not even a music project per se, but just a creative project, where we collaborate with a lot of people, and it's sort of an immersive experience, and it takes you on a journey. Because I think about my favorite artists that I've experienced, and it felt it like it took me on a journey. And so like at the time, like me, Scott, and Gordon did a lot of jamming. So we didn't have a drummer at the time. So Gordon would play drums with his feet. So he'd play drums with
Yeah.
his feet, he'd play his bass, and he'd sing all at the same time, because just he has 8 limbs. And yeah, and then I would play the piano and sing, and Scott played guitar, and we just started jamming. And so it's so different when you hear like our first album versus what's happening right now. Like we really started
Hmm.
diving into the electronics, I think, on our second album. But I think it's one of those things too where it's been really like something that's almost unintentional. It's like it's not like we ever were like, okay, and this is how we're going to sound, and this is the genre we want to fit in. Like to this day, when people ask us like what genre of music, we're like, well, what do you think? Because it's different for everybody that
Yeah.
experiences us, and it's always changing. And I think it's sort of like we've always wanted it to feel organic, like. We've always wanted the writing and the expression that comes out to come from a really authentic place, and to feel organic. So, yeah, I mean, who knows what we're gonna sound like a year from now?
For
It's always
sure.
so
Yeah.
different, right? It's an evolution.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I look back and I'm like, well, it wasn't really planned. Nothing was really planned. It was very organic. And I mean, the first 5 to 7 years was, we released our first album in 2011, and it took us a while to like get back to like finding where we were as artists and musicians in a band called Alice. Like we explored a lot of different projects and collaborated with a lot of people at the time. And then when we came back, it just started coalescing. And then we came out with the 13th Hour album, which was a product of doing what we called at the time Moondrops. So it was also combined with a very multimedia visual presentation. So like that sort of informed sometimes that like the sound would inform the visuals and the visuals would inform the sound. We were like just getting into this very visual mode. And then when we in 2020 came along, we started working on this double album, As Above, So Below. And it just like everything just started feeling really natural, especially playing together as band. We would all get together and write in the same room. And we just would come up with like song after song after song after song. And sonically, it all started feeling really cohesive at the time. Um, and that's basically like brings us to where we are now, where it's like we're continuing into another evolution where we continue to change and embrace it, and we'll see where this the second part brings us.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's I think it's one of those things where I feel like it's like going into a song, honestly. Like if I try to grasp too tightly onto a song where I'm like, this is what the song is about, instead of just letting the song write itself. Sometimes I think for me personally, that's what can create a block, where I'm like, why does this song not, why can't I think of any more words for this song or whatever? Like I just feel like sometimes when I just allow it to end up becoming what it needs to be, and not having such a close grip on it, is like when things kind of come out much more
Mhm.
naturally. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I think in Alice, at least, we find real joy in playing live. We had a question earlier in the chat about like why we take so long to release music, and a big part of it is that we've been on tour a lot. Like we've been touring pretty relentlessly. And it's so hard to make music in the studio and tour at the same time, but we've been
Really is.
trying. Yeah, we've been doing our best to do both. So it's always a juggle because we love, interacting with people live and experiencing live music, and communing in that way. But it's a juggle. So this year we're doing a little less than we normally would, but hopefully with the intention of finishing the album, and having our album release at the end of the year. So that's
Yeah.
kind of what we're envisioning. So. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, when we create the songs too, it's something where we kind of have in the back of our minds like playing it live, because Gordon does live looping as well. So he does live looping and he plays synths. Scott also plays synths and guitar. And we have a keyboard player. So it's like a wall of synths. Like I love having I'm like all the keyboards, all the cheese, all the things.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. But
We have
it's very fun
three
to,
live synths.
yeah. Yeah. And Steve also plays the acoustic drums, but he also plays electronic drums as well. So we have like multiple layers of sound that are happening when we're doing things live. So yeah, I think that's definitely going to be continuing, is just like the evolution of like the hybrid sound, of both the electronic and the acoustic sound together. Yeah.
That's awesome. One thing I'm deeply envious of with you guys is, outside of the music, the unit of Alice, you also have to take on these responsibilities, which are different, pull different weights in the band. Like I know, Tash, you spend hours upon hours sorting gigs out, doing bookings and getting in touch with people, and Scott handling all the technical stuff and all the production, all these various bits and pieces. And I think you said Steve does lights as well for your live shows. That's just incredible. Yeah. I'm so envious. I've got too many hats. They don't all fit.
Yeah.
It's amazing like how much. Oh, you could go.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, it is amazing how many arms it takes to run a indie band, and we sort of like have grown many appendages to help, take care of all the things. And it's basically like, I don't even know. Sometimes I feel like I have like 4 full-time jobs, and it's really like a daily 7 days a week thing. And I'm so grateful to be able to do it, and, on top of my own day job too. So it's like, we all do what we can, and we work really hard because we know it's really worth it. So.
Well, it also helps to have such a supportive community, honestly.
Yeah.
Like it makes all the difference. Like we have such a beautiful community that, supports us, whether it's financial or just words of support. It just means the world. Like we can be having like sometimes awful days, and as we all do, and you get just one kind message or kind comment, and it just lifts you up, and you're just like, okay, we got this, Like I'm sure everybody relates to that. Just one hug or one nice soft thing that someone can say to you can make all the difference. And we have that. And so yeah, like when I'm especially tired, putting in the hours of putting together the tours and all of that. And then I get, messages like, oh, we got some in the chat where it's like, oh, we're looking forward to seeing you in Chicago. And I'm like, oh, it makes it so worth it. Thank you guys so much. So yeah, I think it definitely helps. And yeah, I mean, like you were saying, like I know I have friends as well that have like solo projects, or duo projects, and like having to wear all the hats. It is a juggle. I think that's kind of a thing where as artists, like we're like, okay, like I have many things that I have to create and juggle. So yeah.
That's a question. Did you ever think about remixing one of your songs into a completely different and unexpected genre? And this was asked by Saga05061982.
Is that to myself or to you guys?
I don't know. That's a good question. I guess we could all answer it. Why don't you answer it, Mike?
Yeah, technically in X-RL7 there is a EP called Reimagined, and what it was an interesting experiment where 5 released X-RL7 songs. I approached some phenomenal artists and they did a version of it. Typically, kind of doing their own thing with my hands off of it, and reimagine the songs in different ways. And one of the highlights was that we have a song called "Heart Shaped Hole," which is originally sung by Lauren Babbitt, who's this phenomenal musician. She's very big on YouTube, and this we got this awesome synthwave version of it, where originally it was kind of quite metal with some atmosphere. This version went full on synthwave, and it was just glorious. And the artist is called Patrick Russell, and it's wonderful how the songs can they kind of take on a different meaning when you change the vibe and the context of them. So my answer is yes.
Yeah,
I like a good remix.
A good remix or a good cover. It's always really fun to just kind of like, how can I take a song and flip the script? So yeah, we're gonna be doing actually so coming up in May we're playing a couple shows, like a festival and a show as a fully electric band, and then Scott and I are gonna be doing a bunch of our shows acoustically as a duo. So that's like a completely different approach to the Alice songs. So that'll be a fun venture. Yeah, acoustic is always different because I feel like you really hear the song, you know. You really get to have like that intimate look at what the song is. So yeah.
It forces you. Yeah.
Yes.
I like whenever we do covers, like a really good example is we did a cover of Swamp Thing by the Chameleons. And we actually did two versions. And the first version was just like a straight cover, which was like we played the song as it is. Like, you know, you listen to the album, and we all sat in the rehearsal room and just learned the song, and it was awesome. And we recorded it and produced it and made it sound awesome. And then we were like, let's do like an electronic version. So basically what we did was essentially remix the song, our own song, and it came out like a completely new song, and it was awesome. And that one was like the one that we actually play that one live, like regularly. That's part of our live set, you know, so you never know.
Yeah, I think that's it's I guess part of the fun of a live show. Like when I go to see an artist playing live, it's just I like to hear things how like differently than the CD. I mean, it's always cool to hear that too, but it's always kind of interesting to see like how are they gonna express this live? So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, are there any other questions, my dear friends? If so, drop them in the chat, and thank you all so much again for hanging out with us and for your wonderful comments and questions.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. And we'll, you know, as we sign off, we'll play the lyric video again. I think that would be a proper way to see everyone off. And the other thing I wanted to say too is make sure to check out Mike's YouTube channel for XRL7. You'll find the newest episode, like the complete episode with Tosh doing all like the character voicings and all that stuff. And you could see it in its full form. Definitely make sure to subscribe to his channel and check out the Bandcamp that's up. I think we shared the link. And, you know, thank you for your support and all the love and the follows and all that fun stuff. And yeah, if you're a member of the inner circle, feel free to stick around. I'll send an email right after this with the Zoom link. It'll actually be the same link it always is. So feel free to just dig that up if you have it, but I'll send it out again. And we'll see our inner circle people soon. So yeah, we appreciate you all.
Are there any last parting inspirations or thoughts, Mike?
Well, I just want to say thank you to everyone watching and everyone that's heard the song and left wonderful comments and been so supportive of us. This has been a really wonderful collaboration, and anytime working with you, Tash, and by extension Alice, is always very, very special. And this is a collaboration I held in very high regard, and very much wanted it to do well and do justice. And even in the animation, I suppose one quick aside is this is the first time in the show to animate a live drum kit, because I've been putting that off for a while, because in my head it was like, oh, this is going to take a long time. I don't quite know how I'm going to achieve this, but I do enjoy challenging myself. So with this song, working with you guys, I was like, nope, we're going to do it. I want every musician to get the love. I want to showcase all the musical parts. And similarly, it's the first time doing bass as well. And again, like Gordon has some really, really interesting, intricate fills, which I had to learn myself on guitar to be able to fret it, that work out what frets it was and make some educated guesses. And similarly with Scott busting out the 7-string for this.
Yeah.
And that presented an interesting challenge, because I don't own a 7-string, but I was trying to replicate what I thought you were doing. And again, made some guesses. I got a guitar in drop C tuning, which is 1 note away from standard B in 7-string. So again, I worked out what I thought that was, and just transposed it. And yes, you're a real guitarist. You use standard tuning. I use drop tuning. So
oh, thank you.
I guess my thought is that I just want to emphasize how much I appreciate this collaboration, and how everyone in Alice is amazing, and every one of you guys that's streamed, listened, commented. It really means the world. And thank you so much.
Mike, the feeling is so mutual. I have to tell you that we showed a clip of your drum animation to Steve, and he was like, "That's so cool." He was so happy. He was so excited. He's like, "Oh my God." Like, it really showed, like, you put a lot of love into it. Like you were saying, like, all the nuances, like the fact that you took the time to really study the parts and put the love into the animation. That's just amazing. And a testament to you as a collaborator and as an artist. So thank you so much for including us and for putting so much love into it as well.
For real, we're so grateful.
Yeah. Well, my dear friends, I hope wherever you are in the world, whether it's in the morning or in the evening, thank you all so much again for celebrating with us on release day. Thank you for hanging out with us and for sharing your beautiful selves with us. We are so grateful. And we will see you next time. So sending much love out there.
See you soon. And make sure, if you're in the inner circle, to look out for your emails. You'll get that link soon. All right, here we go. Bye.
I am Miss Cleo. I am your anti-pop star.